Australia isn't entirely populated just by friendly locals, kangaroos, and koalas. The land down under sometimes seems like the most dangerous country on the planet and should be renamed the Land of Nope. It's the sixth largest country in the world, and it is the only continent without any active volcanoes. But honestly, it doesn't need one. Scientists believe that the earliest signs of life on the planet were found right here, in this wild and warm land. And that's just the beginning. Once you see what's been found here lately, you'll realize there's way more to this continent than cuddly spiders. These are the 15 strangest things recently discovered in Australia. Number 15. Pyramid in the Ocean. This pyramid was discovered by Royal Naval Lieutenant Henry Ball in 1788, and so it's got the name Ball's Pyramid. It's almost 2,000 feet out of the Pacific Ocean and measures around 3,600 feet long and 980 feet wide. That makes it the tallest volcanic sea stack on Earth. It's one of the last above-ground leftovers from Zealandia, the once lost, now rediscovered sunken continent, and what's left of a big volcano. You'll find it southeast of Lord Howe Island, more than 400 miles northeast of Sydney. Ball's Pyramid is just one of many sea stacks in the area, eroded ruins of giant volcanoes formed roughly 7 million years ago. It may look lifeless, but it's not. It's the only known home of the world's rarest insect, the Lord Howe stick insect. These 6-inch-long, wingless creatures hadn't been seen alive in over 70 years. Thought extinct after rats wiped them out, a few somehow crossed 14 miles of ocean to survive here on this isolated spike of stone. Number 14. Horizontal Waterfalls. Sir David Attenborough once called it Australia's most bizarre natural marvel, and 15 years ago, barely anyone had seen it. But on the remote Kimberley coastline, the tides are flipping expectations. Known as the Horizontal Waterfalls, this surreal ocean event is caused by one of the world's highest tidal movements, forcing water through 2 narrow coastal breaks. Imagine someone yanking the ocean's drain plug. Millions of gallons of seawater get sucked through the gorge, surging and clashing violently. At peak tide, up to 1 million gallons rush through every second. And what's even wilder is that these waterfalls reverse direction daily as the tide shifts. That's what makes this one of Australia's most dangerous water currents. The seaward gap stretches about 70 feet wide, while the landward one narrows to 30. The phenomenon happens when water levels rise faster on one side of the gap than the other, creating a waterfall up to 13 feet high. Tours and cruises will take you there. If you think about swimming, it will take you to heaven. Number 13. Abandoned Spanish Castle. There are some places on Earth that are magical, and Paranella Park in far north Queensland is one of them. It's a timeless escape for the whole family and a chance to peek into the soul of a true romantic dreamer, Jose Paranella. It was the vision of an ambitious Spanish immigrant who sailed to Australia in 1913 to build a future for himself and the fiancée waiting back home. He spent over a decade worlds away from home, first cutting sugarcane, then slowly growing his fortune by buying, improving, and selling cane farms. After 11 years of hard work, he returned to Spain in 1924 to finally marry, only to find Matilda had married someone else. So, he married her younger sister. In 1925, he happily returned with her to Australia on a honeymoon voyage. In 1929, he came across an untouched forest beside a waterfall and knew this would be their home. They built it with their bare hands over the next 10 years and shared it with everyone. Number 12. Gnomesville. Check out this odd gathering of garden gnomes hiding in the bushlands of rural Western Australia. Welcome to Gnomesville. It's one of those places you have to see to believe. Just over a 2-hour drive south of Perth in the lush green Ferguson Valley, this bizarre attraction has a wildly quirky personality. Yep, bad Aussie pun intended. We're talking about gnomes. These tiny, cheerful garden figures are often taken as a joke, but there's something oddly magical about them. And Gnomesville is a place that draws the curious like moths to light. Gnomes have long been seen as mischievous, enchanted creatures. Folklore says they come alive at night to help in the garden, and some gardeners believe they bring prosperity to their crops. Very few people know exactly how Gnomesville began, but there are several theories. One says a lone gnome appeared, and others added theirs so it wouldn't be alone. Now thousands of gnomes live here, and more keep arriving. It's hilarious, weird, and unforgettable. Number 11. Earth's Pavement. This is Earth's Pavement, aka tessellated pavement, for its tiled-like look along the water's edge. Not only is this strange rock formation a stunning sight and a photographer's dream, but it's also a rare geological wonder. The rock is primarily made of silicon-rich material, formed around 300 million years ago by layers of sediment settling in a low-lying basin. Over time, the sediment compacted, and surface stress from the Earth caused it to crack and split in defined patterns. This process is known as jointing, and the intersecting fractures are what give it its grid-like shape. But there's more to the story. Both time and water played a big role in sculpting the final look. The pavement sits on an intertidal platform where countless years of wave erosion have deepened the tile-like pattern. As tides shift, salt water washes over and seeps into the rocks, intensifying their look. It's hard to believe this isn't man-made. It's 100% made by Mother Nature. Number 10. Shell Beach. This beautiful snow-white beach is made entirely of billions of tiny shells, stacked up to 25 feet deep and stretching more than 50 miles. There's no sand, just shells. Sounds unreal, right? Shell Beach is one of only a handful of spots on Earth where seashells replace beach sand. A walk here is like stepping into another world. The beach is formed from shells of the Shark Bay cockle. Don't know that name? It's a small marine mollusk found in the shallow coastal waters of Western Australia. On calm days, the ocean here becomes a vibrant mix of intense greens and blues, and the water is so salty that even weak swimmers float with ease, just like in Jordan's Dead Sea. This hypersalinity helps the cockles thrive while keeping their predators away. That's why so many shells accumulate here. In fact, over time, the shell deposits get compacted into a form of limestone, and in the early 1900s, they were quarried to build historic structures. Number 9. World's Longest Fence. If you've ever heard the phrase, "a dingo ate my baby," then you'll appreciate this. Australia was once overrun by wild dingoes. Never heard of one? Well, a dingo is an ancient type of wild dog, believed to have descended from domesticated dogs brought by seafarers over 4,000 years ago. Left on their own, they thrived, tapping back into their wolf-like instincts. And sheep? Yeah, dingoes turned them into an all-you-can-eat buffet. To protect their livestock and save their wool industry, farmers built the Great Dingo Fence. Stretching 3,488 miles and surrounded by a 15-foot-wide cleared zone on each side, it's the longest fence in the world. Built in the 1880s, it was designed to keep dingoes out of southeastern Australia. And it worked. The 6-foot-high barrier stopped millions of livestock losses. But with dingoes removed, other grazing animals increased rapidly, leading to overgrazing issues. Still, it's a great feat of human persistence against nature. Number 8. Wave Rock. In Australia, the ocean isn't the only place to catch a wave. Just over a mile east of the quiet town of Hayden, in the golden outback, stands a huge wave that never crashes, and it's frozen forever in time. Geologists have dated this marvel to 2.63 billion years ago, long before the first dinosaurs. Wave rock began forming in the Cretaceous period, over 100 million years ago, when Australia started to separate from Antarctica. It doesn't even look real. Standing 50 feet tall and stretching more than 300 feet long, Wave rock appears like a solidified ocean swell. Scientists classify it as a flared slope, a formation that occurs at the base of an isolated rocky hill or mountain. There are other flared slopes in Australia, but none like this. Wave rock draws over 100,000 visitors annually and holds deep spiritual significance to the region's indigenous people. Number 7. NASA space debris underwater. It's not unusual for scuba divers to explore sunken ships or ancient ruins, but this was something else. A deep-sea diver surfaced with images of what looked like the firing chamber of a space shuttle just sitting on the ocean floor. It's weird, but not impossible. In 1979, NASA's Skylab, a huge orbiting lab, came crashing down, raining debris all across Australia. That spacecraft was 9 stories tall and weighed nearly 80 tons. As it broke apart in Earth's upper atmosphere, massive chunks, some over 1,000 pounds, slammed down with the force of dying meteors. Most landed inland, but it's very possible some ended up underwater. So, is this the last surviving piece of Skylab, or something totally different? Should we leave it there and let the ocean swallow it? Or haul it out and stick it in a museum? Well, let us know, what do you think? Number 6. Devil's Marbles. These rocks are an internationally recognized symbol of Australia's outback and look especially stunning in the morning and evening light when their red tones glow in the sun. But this place is far more expansive and spiritually meaningful than it appears on any postcard. Known as Karlu Karlu by Aboriginal people, the area holds deep spiritual value. Many Dreamtime creation stories center around the Devil's Marbles. Some believe the massive boulders are fossilized eggs of the mythical rainbow serpent. Beyond the legends, the Devil's Marbles conservation area is much larger than most people think. The park spans over 4,500 acres and holds hundreds of rounded granite boulders. Some are over 20 feet across, while others are under a foot wide. Over millions of years, erosion of sandstone and exposure to the elements shaped them into the round forms we see today. It's one of Australia's most visited natural sites, and a perfect place to camp, snap photos, and soak up ancient stories. So, be sure to visit it once in your life. Number 5. Forest in a shipwreck. Once a busy hub of trade, this bay near Sydney was heavily polluted with industrial waste. Now it's a residential and commercial area, but its maritime past lives on in the form of 4 abandoned freighters rusting quietly in the water. One of them became something completely unexpected. When scrap metal values crashed, wrecking yards shut down, and old ships like this were left where they floated. Built in Scotland and sailed to Australia, the ship served in World War II as a supply boat, then spent decades hauling coal before being decommissioned in 1972. It was left drifting until nature took over. Mangrove trees began growing straight from the hull, their branches now bursting through the steel shell of this century-old vessel. Originally built in 1911, the ship is now breaking down from the inside out as the forest slowly swallows it. It's beautiful. Number 4. Underground mining town. Coober Pedy is an Australian town where half of its residents live underground. This one-of-a-kind place sits at the center of Australia's opal mining industry. An estimated 70% of the world's opal production can be traced back to this town, earning it the title of Opal Capital of the World. In fact, most of Coober's locals work in the opal trade. Now, the town is also becoming a leader in eco-living despite being one of the hottest, dustiest, and driest locations in all of Australia. What started in 1916 as a mining operation has since grown into this surreal underground community. Entire bedrooms, bookstores, churches, and bars are carved right into the rock. And clearly, nothing about this town is for the faint of heart. It gets hot. Summer temperatures can rise to 113 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade. Yet over the decades, Coober Pede's people have become masters of underground life. And after 100 years, they're not going anywhere. Number 3, Tunnel of Glowworms. A wondrous, family-friendly stroll through a tunnel covered in glistening glowworms awaits all of us who yearn for adventure here in Australia. On second thought, fireflies light up this dark and muggy old railway tunnel in Wollemi National Park, west of Sydney. In order to reach the ethereal blue-green display, explorers must first follow a slightly rough path by car and walk along abandoned railway tracks past lush forest, narrow gorges, and mystical rock formations. But it's so worth it. The tunnel was originally built as part of a railway in the early 1900s, but was dismantled in 1940, allowing the damp walls to be coated with thousands of glowing glowworms. Visitors describe the sight as breathtaking. Fireflies are soft-bodied beetles, often called glowworms or lightning bugs, that use bioluminescence to attract mates or prey. Their cold light, we mean yellow, green, or pale red, emits from the lower abdomen. As fireflies are sensitive to light and sound, guests must turn off their torches and stay quiet. Number 2, Cooper the Dinosaur. Researchers have officially confirmed the discovery of Australia's largest dinosaur species ever found. Measuring between 80 and 100 feet long, standing 16 to 21 feet tall at the hip, and weighing somewhere between 25 and 30 tons, 81 tons, this thing was a monster. For perspective, a T-Rex was only about 40 feet long and 12 feet tall. Cooper belonged to the Titanosaurian group, a branch of long-necked, long-tailed, four-legged sauropods found on multiple continents. The new species is closely related to 3 other sauropods previously unearthed in Australia from the same era. Its fossilized bones were discovered in 2006 on a family farm about 620 miles west of Brisbane. The massive creature was nicknamed Cooper, and it now ranks among the top 15 largest dinosaurs ever recorded, comparable in size to the South American giants. Paleontologists used 3D scans of the bones to make comparisons with similar species, and the region has since produced numerous other dinosaur fossils, making it a paleontology hotspot. Number 1, Marry Man. This huge geoglyph in South Australia has left expats scratching their heads for decades. The latest NASA image, captured by the Operational Land Imager satellite, has only added more questions. Etched into the barren outback with lines over 115 feet wide and a foot deep, the towering Marry Man is visible from space. And believe it or not, no one even noticed it existed until 1998, when a pilot happened to fly over. Not one witness saw it being made. Somehow, someone, or a group, managed to create a 2.6-mile-long image of an Aboriginal hunter without being caught. That alone shows how remote this part of Australia really is. The full outline measures a staggering 17 miles around, making it the largest geoglyph and artwork on Earth. Some say it was a publicity stunt. Others claim it's a signal to aliens, or maybe built by them. NASA's photos haven't solved the mystery, but it's one of Australia's weirdest wonders. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.